So if you got a Super Cab, this is a 2000 F-150, and you happen to have your doors won't open, these back half doors, I can show you how to fix that using these clips you can order online. Basically what it is, the cables have these, they're plastic clips that over the years they break and doesn't allow the door to open. So I have to get back here, take these panels off so that I can get in there and basically replace the plastic clips with these new, they look like they're aluminum clips. And I'll show you how to do that. You will need a couple tools, Phillips head screwdriver. I think this is a 10mm socket, and you will also need a 6mm socket. This is just a smaller Phillips head screwdriver. But those are the tools you'll need to basically do it. Most of this top panel just pops off. Has some clips. There's 2 screws on this that I'll have to take off to be able to pull this panel off. I'll show you how to do that. So what sucks with my truck is that both of my back doors have the same issue, so I can't open either one, so I had to climb over through the front seat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 screws out here. That'll move this out of the way, and then this panel here just pops off, so I can just pull this off. Then that's going to show a couple screws and a bolt, I think, on this bottom one that I'll need to take off so I can pop that off. So I'll do that next. Alright, so I took the 2 screws out of here. It just moves this out of the way, and it will allow me to pull this panel. And like I said, it just pops off. I just got to get a good grip on it. And you can see it's just starting to come loose. You just pop it loose. I think I got one more. Seatbelt's in the way. There we go. So we just pop this off. Get this out of the way. And what that does is it reveals you got 2 screws here, and then you got a nut here, which is, I believe, the 10mm. You take that off, and then I can remove this bottom panel. So I'll do that next. Okay, now I got these 2 screws out, and I got this 10mm nut out. So now I can just lift this up out of the way. You don't have to take the speaker out. All you got to do is pull this plastic down, and that reveals your linkages and everything here. And I'll try to get a shot. I might have to reposition myself because it's kind of tight in here since I can't open my doors. I got to try to make it work while I'm sitting back here. So, but once you get this off, then you have a linkage that goes up to the top, and then you have another linkage cable that goes to the bottom. And you're going to have basically, you've got 4 clips, 2 for each cable. So you're going to have a clip on this end of the cable, and then I got to figure out how I'm going to replace the clip at the top. And then you'll have a clip at this end, and then I got to get down and replace the clip at that end. So this is my first time doing this, so it might be interesting. Okay, so I've decided that I am going to take this speaker out. There's 4 screws, nuts, whatever you want to call them. So there's 4 screws here. that I'm going to take out just to get that out of the way so I can remove this altogether, because I am going to have to get down here. So this just help me get this out of the way, then it'll give me this hole here to be able to access a little bit more too, instead of trying to just deal with the limited space that I have to get to it. Let me see if I can. So you've got this one here, and you can see this is the old plastic piece, and it had another piece attached to it that's broke off. So it kind of looks like these. So this piece is broken off of the old plastic piece. This truck is 18 years old, so I guess after a while those plastic clips wear out and break. And let's see, and there's like a little you can see the plastic piece that broke off right there. So it just hooks on this little metal edge here, and that's what holds this thing in place, so that when you try to open the door as such, it allows the cable to be pulled and opens the latch. So that's the piece we're going to replace. So that's one of them. So you got one on each end of each cable. So that's it. And I don't know if I need to try to take this piece off. I guess I do. So I might have to cut that off somehow. So check that out and see what I got to do there. But that's what we're replacing. That's the piece we're replacing here. A little tight, so it's going to be interesting. Okay, so removing the speaker, and it just unplugs. Very simple. It's definitely going to give you more room to deal with this cable down here. So I'm going to work on this one now. Okay, so this is somewhat exploratory for me. So this yellow clip here, you just unclip it and you open that up, and then that's going to allow you to pull this out. If I can get my hands in here. And I get to pull that out. What that does is that frees up my cable, so I can try to remove this broken plastic piece and replace it with the metal piece. So that's going to be my next step. And the other end of this cable seems to be intact down there. So I could leave this, but since it's not broken yet, but while I'm doing this and I know that the other ones are broken, it's probably best just to go ahead and replace it now, and then I don't have to deal with it when it does break later on down the road. So I got this cable, and then there's another cable, and it had broke before, and I used a zip tie to hold it in place, but it's broken worse since, so that's no longer working. So I have to take that zip tie off. And that cable there, I think it's going to be a little more tricky trying to get up to the top, so I got to figure that out. But we're going to replace these plastic clips. I don't know why they don't just make them out of metal to begin with, but I'd say you have to get somebody to fix it down the road. So we'll see about replacing. So the plastic one came off pretty simple. I just used my utility knife and just cut a slit down the side of it, and I was able to pull it off. So these plastic pieces are pretty fragile. So this replacement piece should last quite a while. Should last a long time. So now I've got the plastic piece off of here, and I'm just going to replace it with this metal one, and it's just got a slit down the side of it. So let's see, it should just slide on there just like that, and then the cable itself is going to slide in there, and it'll hold it like that, and then this will just attach to this part of the metal frame there, and then we just put it back in here, close the yellow lid, whatever you want to call it, the clip, and then that'll be in place, and that's a fix for that one. Okay, so we got the first replacement clip on here, and you got to push the cable up in there a little bit so that you got enough clearance to be able to pop this back in here, and that's just hooking right onto that part of the frame here, right down in there. Can't get my finger in there, but you see that. And then that hooks back in there. You close this back, and that part's done. So now I've got to replace the other part down here. I'm going to do that next. Alright, so on this other cable right here that I'm going to have to replace, I'm going to push this tab through to release that so that I can get to that other one. What I'm going to use is just some needle nose pliers. I'm just going to push that through like that. What that will do is free this one up. And since this piece is already broken off completely, I'm just going to replace it. I don't have to cut the old one off like I did with this other one. I'll just put the new metal one back up there and then put it back in place. And there's a can't get the camera, but there's another part of the frame here. It's right there. Put my fingers on that the new clip is gonna clip onto. So go ahead and put this up here, and this basically is gonna slide on here. Kind of hard doing it with one hand, but I get the cable to slide through the slit just like that, and then what I've got to do is I've got to push this part down through this shaft here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my pliers to kind of push that through there, and then I'll be able to put this in place. I can get it a little bit with my hands, but and then once that clips on, then I can clip this back into place, and that'll be done. Okay, so now I've replaced this end of this one and this end of this one, but this one goes up to the top, and I need to get to this top piece. Now that I've replaced these two, she's still not wanting to open all the way. So what I got to do is I've got to grab a hold of this cable that's going up to the top, and I need to pull on it so that I can release this top piece. I ain't got a lot of room to do stuff, so I might be able to grab it there. Got it. You gotta watch it. This stuff will cut you. This stuff will cut you. I can get a hold of that. pull down on it so that I can open this thing. Oh, there we go. So I must have released it. Let's try it again. Yeah, so I heard that click when I pulled down on it. So that was still. There we go. So now I got a little more room to be able to work with this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this up, and I'm gonna have to take these 3 bolts out so that I can pull this out, so that I can get to this end of it. As you can see, I've got to get to that end to replace that piece. So I'll do that next. Alright, so I got my top panel and my bottom panel off. I'm going to remove the speaker on this side, take these 4 screws out. That'll give me more room to work with so that I can replace the broken clips for the cables. I'm going to go ahead and take this speaker out. Okay, so I got my speaker out. That's going to give me room to reach inside there. Now it's a pain because I've got to get up here and I've got to work down here, so I need to open this door. Now one way I can do it is by grabbing a hold of the cable that's going up here, up to the top, and I can pull on that to release the top. And then the same thing with this cable on the bottom. I'm going to pull up on that. But I've got to do it at the same time. So you pull on them both at the same time, and then it'll release both of them, and you can open the door up. Alright, now that I was able to get my door open, I'm going to remove these tabs here, which is going to allow me to take this gasket off and reveal. I think there's 3 screws I got to take off so that I can pull this out. And then the cable that's going down here over to here, you probably can't see that cable right there. I'll be able to pull that out, just pull it out through, and then I'll be able to work on it from there, because it's just kind of difficult to get to it from here. So this, I'll push this plastic pin in, and that will release this side so that I can pull the cable through. And then the same thing on here, I can either undo this clip and pull this out, which is probably the easiest way to do it. I need a screwdriver. But this yellow tab here, you can open that up, and that'll release this cable so that you can pull that cable out to replace it. So up top here, these are just push pins. You can see that you're just going to pull out to reveal these 3 screws. We'll take those out, and then I can pull this whole assembly with the cable and everything out, because I have the cable unhooked. If I can get to it, I've got it. If you can see it, it's right there. So I've got it unhooked in there, so I'll just pull it on out after I take these 3 screws out here. Alright, so I got those screws out. I'm just going to pull this on out along with the cable. Okay, we'll see that there's the broken plastic piece there. So it just broke. So it's no longer holding the cable in place where it needs to be. Let's check this other side. Same thing with this one. It's completely gone. It completely broke off. So we're going to replace them with these aluminum clips. It's basically going to replace the plastic clips that look the same. And I'm just going to take my razor knife and cut a slit down the side of this, the plastic piece that's still attached, to take that off, to get that out of the way. Just cut you a nice slit down the middle, and you'll be able to pull that off. Then I'll have to cut that off and replace that. So what I'll do here, so I'm just going to cut me a slit right down the edge. And this stuff's all dry rotted. It's just pretty much breaking apart. So I'd say while you're in here, you know, sometimes some of these pieces will still be, you'll have one end that's still good. I would just go ahead and replace it with the metal ones that you have. That way you don't put it all back together and then later on the other piece break on you. So I'm just going to cut this off. Knife. Take that off. Then what I'm going to do is take this piece and just slide it. Slide the cable through just like that. And then we're going to push this in as far as you can get it to go. That's probably good. And then that replaces the broken plastic piece that you took off. So you got two cables, you got basically two of these for each cable that you got to do the same thing to. Now with this end, the plastic piece is already broken. This is part of the plastic piece that's broken off, so I'm going to cut this off as well. It's breaking all up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this one. Oh, and you can tell if you look inside, there's part of the plastic piece that's broken, so I need to get that out of there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pry this piece open a little bit, just enough to pull that out and slide the new piece in. And I'll just use my flathead screwdriver to get up under there and pry that open. Should work. Okay, there we go. That should be enough. Cut this piece. Probably about ready to fall apart anyway. So that lasted about 20 years, 18 years. That's a good long while. Get that out of there. Now I'll take my new piece, same thing I did with the other one. Push that down in there like that. just need to. Now these are supposed to have a certain kind of piece for this one that fits on there, but I don't have it, so I gotta make do with what I got. So I just need to get that, push that in on there, and then I'll be able to close that back up. All right, so I got that piece on there. Got it closed back up, so it's ready to put this top one back together. Then we'll get the bottom. Okay, so now for the lower cable. You'll see, look down in here, that plastic clip is broke too, so I'm going to have to cut that off and replace it. Even if it wasn't broken, I would go ahead and replace it since I'm in here with the metal one, because it's going to last longer. Eventually that plastic's going to break. So up top here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my screwdriver, pop that open. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow me to pull this out, release that cable. So there's that. Got a little bit of that broken piece left on there, so I'm going to cut that off and then put the new metal clip on that end, and then I'm going to cut it off on the bottom here and put one of the metal clips on that end as well. So I'll do the same thing as before with the other ones. Just going to slide that cable in there and slide the sleeve down. So I'll just pull this down over here, and this is about where it should stop, right where this rib section stops. That's where the old one was. So you want to pull that through there. I'll probably need 2 hands to do that, so I'll just pull the sleeve down over the cable. All right, I got my bottom piece replaced and in place. I got the top piece replaced and in place. So we're gonna slide this back in here. For a little clamp back in place. And then this piece, I can get my hand in there. Go back in place. We'll close that clamp. Now, all we got to do is get this piece. It's hard to see. I'm going to get that piece clamped onto there, so I'm just going to take some little wiggling, but there, I got it. So that's on there. Everything seems to be in place. Let's see what happens. Bam. Everything is fixed now. And you just put everything back the way you took it off. Done. Hopefully this will help somebody dealing with the same thing that I had to deal with. And one more thing, these metal clips, you can buy them on Amazon, eBay. You just search it with the year, make, model of your truck, and it'll pop up there. I don't know about other trucks with this type of Super Cab, but F-150, they're pretty much universal for quite a few different years. So I think this will fit quite a few different trucks from 2000 on up to maybe 2012 or something. So eBay or Amazon, you can find these pieces. Probably $5 for a 4-pack, so $5 a door, and it'll get your doors fixed. So hopefully that helps.